So what a waste of time. I don't know if you've ever had that moment or said that. Boy, have I ever. Like when you stand in line for something, you think it's gonna be great, and then you don't get there. I think like amusement parks, a lot of times you're standing in a long line. Man, I can't wait for like one of my favorite rides at Six Flags in Chicago. It was Superman, and it would break down, and you'd be waiting in line for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden find out, it's broken down. You've got to get out of line and go hit another ride, and you try to beat everyone else over there, and you're like, man, I just wasted 2 hours of my life. And today, as we're reading, and for the next couple days, we'll be in the book of Ecclesiastes, and it's an interesting book written by the son of David, Solomon, the wisest man that's ever been on earth, and a man who asked for wisdom from God, and God gave it to him. And Ecclesiastes is a hard read. I'll be honest with you. It's a hard read for a lot of people as you're going through, and it's like vanity, a waste of time, right? I tried this. I worked and I toiled, and it was a waste of time. I had all this fun, enjoyment, and that was a waste of time. I became rich. That was a waste of time. I studied. That was a waste of time, and you're looking like, well, what's any good then? If all of this stuff, Solomon is the wisest man on earth, right? You say at the end of the day, everything is a waste of time. Then what's anything good? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because at the end of second Ecclesiastes, he actually tells us this. He says, and I'm going to start reading verse 24. There is nothing better for a person than that he should eat and drink and find enjoyment in his toil, right? He's telling us, hey, the best we can do right now is that for you and I to enjoy in life, right? We're going to have toil, we're going to have to work, but during those times, find enjoyment, find joy. But he says that in this is toil, in his toil. This also I saw is from the hand of God. For apart from him, who can eat or who can have enjoyment, right? To the one who pleases him, God has given wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner, he's given the busyness of gathering and collecting, only to give it to the one who pleases God. And Solomon is trying to help us understand everything is from God. It reminds me of James chapter 1, verse 17, and where he writes that every good gift is from the Father. And we recognize our day is not about ourselves. It's about God, to enjoy what God has given us in the toil, in the labors, in the frustrating times, in those moments. It's all about God. And then when I begin to look at my life, and that's what Solomon's doing, he's looking at his life and realizing how short it really is, and how much he worked on this and this, trying to build himself an empire, trying to build himself something, realizing that someone else is going to take over when he's gone. So therefore, what do we really need to focus on? We need to focus on God. That's what he's telling. Every good gift comes from the Father. I find enjoyment. I find joy. I find sustenance, what I can eat, what I can drink, right? The moments of my life, I only find in God. And that's my focus. It's God and God alone. So what's a waste of time? Anything else that's not focused on who God is. Not recognizing that it's God. So when I spend time with my family, I enjoy that time with my family because they're a gift from God. When I work, guess what? I enjoy the work because it's a gift from God. It helps me, put food on my plate, right? And it gives me opportunities to spend time with other individuals. That toil becomes an enjoyment because I begin to see it through the lens of God, that God has put me there. He's called me to that moment, and I'm going to work in it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't become a waste. It's only a waste for those sinners, those that are doing it for themselves, trying to heap up gold and silver, trying to heap up treasures for themselves. But when we begin to turn it on to the other side, we begin to look and say, okay, this is for God, then it no longer is